What if everything you've been told about enlightenment was a riddle meant to mislead? What if the pursuit that sends monks to mountaintops and seekers into silence is not a destination, but a trick? A beautifully simple trick, hiding in plain sight. So simple, in fact, that the moment you stop seeking, it begins to reveal itself. There's a story, whispered in esoteric circles and among those who walk the forgotten paths of inner knowing. A master once told a disciple, "You're already enlightened. You're just too distracted to notice." The disciple laughed, thinking it a metaphor. But it wasn't. It was the answer, hidden in simplicity, drowned by the noise of spiritual ambition. Today, I invite you not to chase the light, but to see it, right now, flickering behind your thoughts, humming beneath your breath. This video isn't about adding something new to your life. It's about peeling back what was never really there. Illusions, assumptions, the heavy costume of the self. We'll explore how ancient sages described enlightenment not as an achievement, but a realization, one that arrives when you finally understand the trick. We'll venture into forgotten teachings from the East and West, unearth truths that have been cloaked in metaphor and myth, and uncover why your own mind is the magician both hiding and revealing the trick. You'll discover why the idea of enlightenment as something far away is the very reason most never see it. You'll learn how this trick plays out through your thoughts, your identity, your endless striving, and most importantly, how to step outside the illusion with one profound yet effortless shift. But be warned, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The spell breaks, the chase ends, and what remains is not fireworks or divine light, but a quiet, spacious simplicity. The very trick that has fooled even the wisest for lifetimes is the same one you can unravel right now. Are you ready to see through it? Long before the word enlightenment was popularized by spiritual books and yoga studios, before it became a polished concept in seminars and retreats, it was something far more raw, elusive, and paradoxical. In the ancient world, enlightenment wasn't taught, it was caught. It was whispered by firelight in dense forests, glimpsed in the silent eyes of sages, and encoded into riddles, parables, and paradoxes designed to short-circuit the logical mind. In the Upanishads, the esoteric heart of Indian philosophy, enlightenment is described not as something to be gained, but as a realization of what you already are. Tat ti vam asi, thou art that. You are not the seeker. You are the sought. This was not a metaphor. It was a literal statement of spiritual identity. But to the unprepared mind, it sounded like poetic nonsense. So seekers kept seeking, and the trick kept working. Buddha himself, after years of ascetic torture and extreme discipline, simply sat beneath a Bodhi tree and let go. The moment he stopped clinging to the idea of attaining anything, the illusion collapsed. He saw the trick. He became awake, not in the sense of becoming someone new, but in the sense of realizing he was never who he thought he was. The Taoists of ancient China offered a similar enigma. Lao Tzu, in the Tao Te Ching, tells us, the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. He warns that naming, striving, and defining are the very acts that lead us away from truth. The real Tao, the real awakening, is not something we find. It's something we notice when we stop searching. Even Jesus, whose teachings were later institutionalized into rigid dogma, spoke in veiled language to those who had ears to hear. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Not above, not beyond, within. But how do you find something within that you've been conditioned to seek outside? The problem is not that these teachings are hidden, it's that they're too obvious, too simple, so simple, in fact, that the ego, always craving complexity, achievement, and narrative, rejects them. The idea that awakening could be a trick feels insulting to the seeker who has sacrificed so much, studied so hard, and journeyed so far. This is why, in nearly every mystical tradition, the trick is guarded by paradox. In Zen, the master strikes the student for asking a question. In Sufism, the mystic dances until they forget the dancer. In the Gnostic scriptures, light is hidden in darkness, and truth is buried beneath illusion. The same story unfolds again and again. The student seeks and suffers until the very act of seeking is seen for what it is, the final illusion. It's not that the path is false. It's that the path is a spiral, designed to exhaust the ego until the only move left is surrender. And in that surrender, the game ends. In the next section, we'll begin to unravel this trick piece by piece. We'll look at how the illusion is created, how it sustains itself, and why the simple act of awareness, pure, non-grasping attention, is the key to dissolving the grand deception. To understand the trick of enlightenment, we must first understand the magician behind the curtain, the mind. Not your brain, not your thoughts, but the deeper structure of identity and perception that governs your every waking moment like an invisible puppeteer. This mind is not a villain. It's a brilliant illusionist, Its trick? Convincing you that you are it. From the moment you open your eyes as a child, the world begins its subtle indoctrination. You're taught your name, your role, your place. You're rewarded for achieving, punished for failing, encouraged to become somebody. And so begins the construction of the self, a psychological avatar made of stories, memories, desires, and fears. The ego. This ego isn't real in the way you think. It's not a thing, but a pattern, a habit of identifying with form, with thought, with emotion. It's like mistaking the mirror's reflection for your actual face. It feels solid. It feels like me. But it's a projection, a ghost that you feed with constant attention. Here's where the trick deepens. The moment you begin to suffer, whether through anxiety, dissatisfaction, or spiritual longing, the mind offers you a solution. Seek, chase peace, chase awakening, chase something better than now. It promises that enlightenment is just around the corner. Once you meditate more, read another book, visit that guru, purify your karma. But seeking implies lack, and lack is the illusion. Imagine this: a dog endlessly chasing its own tail. Round and round it goes, convinced that with just a little more speed or a sharper turn, it will finally catch it. This is the seeker, enlightenment is the tail, and the mind, clever and unseen, is the spinning axis beneath it all. But here's the paradox: the moment the dog stops, the chase ends. And in that stillness, the truth emerges. Not because the dog found what it was looking for, but because it saw that there was nothing to find. The tail was never separate. This is the heart of the trick. The one who seeks enlightenment is the only obstacle to it. The seeking self is built from illusion, fueled by the belief that something is missing. But what if nothing is missing? What if the very awareness listening to these words right now is already the light you've been searching for? The trick is in the identification, the hypnotic belief that you are your thoughts, your story, your struggle. And as long as this identification continues, the game of seeking continues. But in the rare moments when the mind is quiet, perhaps during deep meditation, nature walks, or spontaneous awe, there is a glimpse. A moment where you simply are. No trying, no becoming, just being. And in that moment, enlightenment is not attained. It is revealed. In the next section, we'll dive even deeper. We'll examine the mechanics of the trick, how your language, attention, and very sense of time keep the illusion alive. We'll explore the lesser-known aspects of awareness and how subtle shifts can unravel lifetimes of false perception. If the first layer of the trick is the illusion of the ego, the second layer, the one that holds the illusion in place, is the fabric of time, thought, and language. These are not merely tools of the human experience. They are the stage, the script, and the spotlight of the grand illusion. Let's begin with time. Enlightenment, we're told, is something that happens eventually. After enough meditation, service, study, or lifetimes, it will blossom. But this idea is a trap spun from the very thing that hides the truth, the concept of future. You see, the present moment is the only doorway to reality. The past is memory, the future is imagination. Both arise within consciousness, and yet, we treat them as destinations. The mind loves time because time means hope. Hope that someday I'll be free. Someday I'll awaken. But what if the very structure of time is the wall between you and truth? The ancient Zen masters knew this. When asked, what is the way? They'd answer, this. Just this. Not in a year, not after rituals, but now. Always now. Now consider thought, that ever-chattering inner voice narrating your life. It claims to know, to plan, to protect. But it is also the fog. Thought is linear. Thought is divided. It breaks the world into subject and object, this and that, me and you. And in doing so, it fractures wholeness. But enlightenment, or liberation, is not an experience for the me. It's the dissolving of the me into what has always been. Try this. Pause and become aware of your next thought. Just watch, wait. In that gap before the next thought arrives, what are you? Who are you? If no thought appears, do you disappear? Or is there still an alive presence? That stillness, that silent awareness, is closer to truth than 1,000 spiritual books. And then, there's language. The subtle spell we cast on ourselves every day. The word, I, is perhaps the greatest illusion of all, a sound that creates the feeling of separation. But where, exactly, is this, I? Can you find it? Is it in the body? The thoughts? The feelings? Every time you look, it slips away like smoke, because it was never there to begin with. The Sufis called it fana, the annihilation of the self. The Buddhists called it anatta, not self. The Gnostics spoke of dying before you die. All point to the same reality. The self, you think you are as a mirage, and awakening is simply seeing through it. Yet, the irony is delicious. There is no self to awaken. Only the awareness realizing it was never asleep. So why does this illusion persist? Because it's deeply familiar. The ego fears dissolution. It clings to its suffering, its stories, even its spiritual practices, because at least they reinforce its existence. The trick continues not because it's strong, but because it's believed. But here's where the game can end. The moment you stop chasing experience, stop naming every moment, stop feeding the story of me, awareness remains naked, unadorned, free, and in that simple seeing, that childlike wonder stripped of labels, the truth emerges, not with trumpets or thunder, but with a soft whisper. You were never not this. In the final twist, you discover that nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to be added. Enlightenment was not hidden behind the clouds. You were just staring at the clouds instead of the sky. In the next section, we'll ground this insight in practice. We'll explore simple, powerful ways to glimpse beyond the illusion, not someday, but today. Right here, in the middle of your ordinary life. You don't need to escape to a mountain, abandon your life, or sit in silence for decades to see through the trick of enlightenment. The key is not in effort, it is in attention. In how you look, not where. In how you listen, not to what. Let us begin with the most direct doorway, presence. Right now, without changing anything, notice this moment. Not the words, not the meaning, not your reaction, just the raw isness of now. The sensation of your body, the rhythm of your breath, the subtle hum beneath your thoughts. This is not a technique, this is reality, stripped of commentary. The ego cannot survive this simplicity for long. It thrives in complication, but the truth is always still. One of the most powerful exercises is the art of choiceless awareness. Don't try to meditate, don't try to quiet your mind. Just sit, or even stand, and observe. Let sounds arise, let sensations unfold, let thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky. The trick begins to unravel when you stop interfering. When you don't identify with what appears, but with the space in which it appears. Ask yourself often, am I aware? Don't answer with words, just feel it. That spark of recognition, the one that doesn't come from the mind, is a glimpse into your real nature. That is the light sages speak of, not something supernatural, but something profoundly ordinary. So ordinary, it is overlooked by the one always chasing miracles. Another profound practice is the inquiry, who am I? Not to arrive at an answer, but to dissolve the questioner. Each time a thought arises in response, I am this body, I am this role, I am this feeling, ask again, who sees that? Who knows that thought? Eventually, like peeling away layers of an onion, there is nothing left to grasp, only awareness itself, luminous and silent. Daily life becomes the training ground. Washing dishes becomes a meditation. Walking becomes a dance with existence. Every moment is a chance to break the spell of mind. You are not your to-do list. You are not your regrets. You are not even your name. You are the witness behind it all. Not distant or detached, but deeply, vibrantly here. Obstacles will arise. The ego will protest. It will distract you with plans, fears, and judgments. It will whisper, this is too easy. It can't be enlightenment. Ignore it. The simplicity is the proof. Another challenge is consistency. The world is noisy, and attention is easily hijacked. So build moments of pause into your day. Short, sacred pauses where you return to stillness. Even 10 seconds of pure awareness, done frequently, begins to dissolve the trance. And finally, approach this not as a goal, but as a curiosity. Play with awareness. Let go of becoming. Let go of improving. Just look, listen, feel. The trick cannot survive a gaze that is pure. In the end, what you're looking for is not something new, it's something ancient. Something that's been watching through your eyes since the beginning. And the only thing between you and it is the belief that it's not already here. So now the trick is exposed. Not with fanfare, not with fireworks, but with the quiet thunder of realization that you were never lost, never lacking, never broken. The chase for enlightenment was a dream within a dream, and the moment you paused, truly paused, the dream began to dissolve. You've journeyed through ancient wisdom, unraveled illusions spun by time and thought, and stood in the still light of your own awareness. And perhaps now, something in you knows, not as belief, but as direct experience, that what you are cannot be improved, cannot be sought, and cannot be lost. This is the ultimate secret the sages guarded not to keep it from you, but because it cannot be given. It can only be seen. And now, the seeing has begun. So let the spiritual seeking end, not in despair, but in celebration. The path was never about becoming. It was always about remembering. Not remembering who you were, but what you've always been. A silent witness, a boundless presence, the light behind the eyes, watching it all unfold. And if this video sparked something within you, a question, a glimpse, a shift, honor that. Stay with it, let it grow in the quiet moments between distractions. We invite you to become a part of this journey with us. Like this video if it resonated with your soul, share it with someone still caught in the chase, and subscribe to our channel for more forgotten wisdom, ancient truths, and modern awakening. Thank you for watching, and remember, the truth is never far. It's just one breath, one glance, one pause away. The light you seek is the one watching now.